Okay, gonna be recording another Play and Explain. Been a while. Recently dropped back down to 100 now after running a little bad at 200. So for next couple, maybe 20k at least hands, gonna be playing 100 now. Bottom two tables are new, so I don't have any real reads yet. Top left is generally pretty soft. We've been on there the longest. And top right just seems to have one player we're really focused on. Queen jack off, I don't think I'll be 3-betting too often, though more incentivized to versus 3x open from hijack. And this is a board that's not going to be very good for us, so we are not going to have money raises. And I think this hand's fine to check call. Not sure what our check raising range would look like, maybe more like 10-9 or something. Maybe jack 10. I would expect a lot of like 33 or 50% bets from the cutoff player here. And they take this long, it's okay, it just looks like a timeout on their end. Yeah, not sure how to react versus the timeout. I don't think I can see if I can just bet one, they'll fold auto. Nope. Annoying spot, but I think we just call. And then we'll just be check folding the river. I think this hand can 4-bet some of the time. I think calling is also better than folding. And if they go larger, we're more incentivized to 4-bet or fold. I think I'll just call here. Should expect in general big bets or checks from them. This board is okay for us. We won't really have threes. We'll have sixes and tens a decent amount. This size, I think we're just going to have to fold. Just given button versus low jack being very tight position. But we'll mark that one and look it up at some point. Be raising ace jack off versus the limp. And versus the pot size donk without a spade, I think we'll just be folding here. We'll be ISOing ace-8 suited on table 4. I don't think 8-7 suited is gonna be calling or 3-betting much versus the low jack 3x. Maybe occasionally. And 10s versus 3 limps, we're gonna ISO. I think like 8 bigs is decent. Looks like we got 2 callers, so with the small blind left, just gonna go ahead and fold the ace-8 of diamonds here on the mono. Pretty interesting spot, table 1. I don't know if we have much fold equity versus the 3-better. Not a huge size and incentivized to play against a potential wide range here, although it could be pretty nutted just limp calling the 21 bigs. So I think jamming isn't too ideal there on the button, so you go for the call. And 9-Jack-5 is probably going to be hard to continue, especially versus these sizings. They make it easy for us to fold. I'll be calling the 6-5 of spades here. Probably 4-betting it at a low frequency as well. And we'll be checking range here. And so, yeah, nice showdown here where we see the rejam. We're just going to label them as Omega Whale. Probably just putting the other guy on Ace-King. So they limp call 21 BB. Pretty insane. Don't see that one too often. And our auto buy is bugging out. Let's try to fix that. Versus this, we're going to be raising this at a really high frequency. I think I expect them to bet at a high frequency too, so I think we should get a lot of folds. It's probably just a range bet from them / in theory. We hit the dream card. I have no idea about sizing now. Do we just ship it on this turn? Kinda don't want to have the spades here. Versus so many people and whatnot, I'm just gonna check here. I'm checking a lot versus imposition caller and more incentivized there, and I'm just also focused on bottom left. So yeah, I'm wondering if we ship or have some other size. I think we just want to ship it here. I think like any Jack X will probably call us, but not too sure. Here is the 3-bet pot, 7, 9, 8. Not a great board for us. They'll have all sets here. We should too, though. I think with the gut shot plus unblocking worse flush draws, we want to bet pretty often, and just going for like a smallish sizing here. Yeah, we have to call top left, and then I just want to mark the bottom right hand with the 6-5 after the check raise. I'm not sure if we're supposed to have different sizings there. Yeah, pretty curious. So what happened? Looks like they bet 10 into, what was it, like 16? So it was like large flop bet and then turn down bet. I think we just have really straightforward call. They could have worse value. And being short stack, lower SPR, I think we're going to have to think about calling off. It's annoying we don't block the suited jack, although it doesn't matter too much. They called an ISO on the button, so they could be having like offsuit king jack, queen jack stuff. I think we go for a check, and then I don't know if we want a hero here. The queen isn't great blocking the most obvious bluffs, which would be like queen 10, queen 9, and that type of thing. So versus the like pot size jam, we might fold without a diamond. And then this size is so funky. Yeah, I'm assuming I just want to call like worse kings, unblock like the queen X types of bluffs that he can have. and just given the fact that he's triple barreled and the flop was so multi-way, I don't know if we're gonna 3-bet this very much versus low jack 3x from the small blind. I'll look at that one. Yeah, I think I just have a fold on table 1, unfortunately. And another hand mark. And Georgian's not doing its job. And I think Jack 4 suited's too weak to open from small blind. Versus the cold 4-bet, we usually just fold, but I think versus this player, we are just going to shove. Given their very short stack, really high 3-bet percentage, potentially kind of fishy. I think they'll like call off ace jack a lot, and yeah, it is annoying because it's cold 4, but I don't see how we can fold. It's interesting when he throws the angry face. I don't know enough about reads, what that means. I'll just be attacking a lot of limp pots, especially with trash, especially ace high or fish. I would expect to bet a lot. Then I'll probably put a value bet here and then check back the river. Yeah, so I'm not sure how good this is, but I think I will jam. I just don't expect him to fold much at all, so expecting to get called by like ace 10, ace jack, and weird things like that. So good luck us. And top left, we'll just check back. Hit OASD. Top right's a good sign when he's tanking. I have no idea what he would be cold for, and then tanking when it's 23 behind. Should have no folding range. But potentially a good sign unless we get a little slow roll. Alright, off to the race. And we're dead. If he's tanking with nines, I feel like it makes my shove a little less attractive, because then he might be folding those hands that I expected to call pure, like ace 10, ace jack, king queen, king jack, type of stuff. So yeah, that does make me question it a little bit. We'll go ahead and ISO ace 8 suited on top left. And yeah, this was the really wide guy, so I don't think I'm gonna bluff this guy really ever and just play pretty straightforward. And so yeah, never folding here. Not sure how much we like 3-betting. It might be okay, given this guy will stack off with like definitely any 8x. But limp call does scare me a little bit from sets and stuff, so I think we'll go with the call. He snap checks after the check raise. I don't think in these spots we want to go too huge. I'm not sure how I feel about stabbing after turn check or check raise then check. I feel like they can still be polarized, maybe not as much as if they follow through, but I think versus this player I want to bet, and this, maybe I'll just go like half, yeah. Pocket fives in this spot, not too sure on. I think I'll just make a snuggish laydown. And do I want to jam here? The 3 is interesting because this player can definitely be calling 3x flop turn, although I think it's pretty irrelevant. I think they can hero us with worse 8x. I think we just rip it versus this player. We want to get it in pretty thin, as we expect them to be very stationary based on what we've seen previously. And if they have it, they have it. So I'm happy ripping this spot. It may be a snap rip. And this guy had, yeah, 9-8. So these types of players, it could be just really good play to start building pot earlier, as in 3-betting the flop before overcards come. Although here it doesn't matter, as the ace comes and they're not folding mid-pair weak kicker versus a jam. But I think we want to just 3-bet really light versus these players. I think these players are very rarely folding the flop when they min check raise a board that they're obviously looking for protection on, so that's just something to think about. Opening ace deuce suited down here, and we'll be 3-betting pocket jacks. Maybe we get a bunch of callers, and great board for us, but I'm probably still checking range versus this many players, plus when we have in position caller, and no reason to get into fight in this spot. Take it down with the jacks. This player looks pretty whaley. It's a little early, but I think we can give him the tag. Start tagging some short stacks. Queens will be 3-betting pure. Obviously. So small blind versus button, we're gonna be super linear, but I still think these like 10 high boards we're gonna wanna like size up. Definitely an argument for check raising this hand, but I also think we really want to bet here, and so I'm gonna go for half pot sizing pretty often, including this time. Ace 4 could be a squeeze here, but it's less attractive versus whale. I think we won't have the full equity that we have normally. And don't really love flatting here when we're not super deep. So yeah, just going to be folding. This turn's interesting because the high diamonds aren't blocked, so I think this card is pretty good for in position, but not as bad for us as some overcards or some higher diamonds that would block our like nut flush draws, etc. I do think I will be checking a lot though, so going to check here, and that maybe we do want to bet a lot with the queens here. I think this will slow us down a lot, but maybe this hand does not really get slowed down. This super small size is interesting. I'm not sure if that is the move. The quarter pot bet. I'm just trying to think if we ever want to set up the jam here. I do think this will be a jam versus a small bet. Hopefully we can get called by hands like jacks with a diamond. Some 10x stuff that has one diamond, ace 10 0 or something. Maybe versus small size we just call though. Yeah. Well played hand from villain. I'm curious to look at that sizing though. I'm not sure if it's a thing. Maybe it's just an action taken with invulnerable hands, like nut flush. Yeah, and with hands, or with a board that's so bad for us, I don't know if we're going to have many check jams. Maybe we just have small bets and then check calls. I'll have to look that one up. I think this will be the bottom of our ace-x opening on bottom left. And just go for a small continue. I think flush competing's pretty bad. They'll just have a ton of suited gaps, two gaps, etc. from pre-flop. Jack probably somewhat good for us, but I'll be checking here. And do we have much motivation to reopen river? I don't think so. Potentially just showdown versus like some queen x 10x stuff that wrapped around the 9 that called, and then might check back for river. Looking to showdown against high Broadway cards that give up. And versus the super small bet, it's pretty annoying. Don't have much hands. I think given bet size and then the configuration, small blind, big blind, bet, check, check, I think we will be calling a lot of ace high. Yeah, just don't expect to see too many king x wing turn into bluffs here. But if it is, then that makes the ace high calls pretty automatic. So then we have an interesting question of out of position versus 2 limps and small ISO, how big we want to go. I think we want to go fairly big here, especially versus whale. I don't think they're going to fold much. This is a good hand to play like 2 streets with, so I think we'll just go 17. Maybe there's merit for bigger as well, but they are target villain is only 80 deep. It looks like Ignition is having some connection issues, which is not exactly what I want to see for the big pots, but okay, there we go. We get this guy to limp call. And out of position 2-way, I feel like I'm going to see a lot of shoves from them. They probably will shove if I bet small, like all of their overpairs, like 6s plus, but I think between the 2 of them, they'll just open the action enough for me that I'm going to just play sneaky this time. And so yeah, there we have the first shove. Hopefully we see a second shove, and then hopefully we don't see pocket 4s. So we have 8s and then 5, 6. So doing well there. So yeah, great table, and now I'm a little anxious it'll break. This guy buys in. Okay, they're ready for some revenge. That's what we want to see. So let's see, is player 1 deserving a whale tag? I think so. Well, they had 8s. I don't fault them too much there. I'll leave them with the normal green for now. Yeah, I have no idea what to do in these limp spots. I will probably fold. Ace jack off, we can probably, I don't know if we 3-bet it pure, but we will this time. Oh, and looks like our friend left here. Be ISOing ace jack suited. Potentially we could think about smaller size versus such a short stack limp. Instead of 5x, maybe we can go 4x or something. And I don't think we're going to have much of an ISO fold range versus, I believe it's the same player, though we've lost the HUD stat for whatever reason, but I'll go for a call. And can consider fold sometimes, but I think versus this profile it's hard to fold, so if they have, you know, overpairs, so be it. Alright, so it was, there's the HUD stat came back. Versus the like 4x, I don't think we're gonna fold many pairs from the big blind 3-bet down here, bottom left. And this will just be a fold versus c-bet, even for small size, just not doing well on this board. And I think pool is probably not properly polarizing the big blind 3-bet, so I think it's just pretty strong in this board. It's great for them, so. Alright, well I think we'll wrap this one up. Thanks for tuning in.